Hello dear listener, dear viewer, my name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. I'm going to share with you top 10 nuggets of wisdom on embracing risk and confronting fear. I'm coming to you as your host of this program once again, Mogobe's Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. I always try to do my best to bring you new and exciting content, and I give you my take on various subjects, and hopefully you take away and learn something new each and every time. It is important that we grow our risk muscles, that we become comfortable with taking risks and confronting new situations by getting out of our comfort zone as a deliberate process. Like Helen Keller once said, our life is either a daring adventure or it's nothing at all. And Ralph Waldo Emerson put it differently. He said, don't be squeamish about taking action. All life is an experiment. So if you know that all life is an experiment, you'll be better able to take risks. So I'm going to give you 10 nuggets of wisdom on this subject. 1. You cannot wait for all the robots to be green before you leave your house. You cannot wait for perfect conditions before you take action. Your job is to confront situations as they arise. After all, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Some even say fantasmagorical evidence appearing real, which means that fear is a phantasmagorical imposter. Number 2, you cultivate a culture of taking action, whether you are ready or not. It is very important that regardless of how ready you are, you should take the attitude of fire, ready, aim, as opposed to aim, get yourself ready and then fire. So if you do this, you find that you self-correct and you take corrective actions much quicker as you tackle new situations. So this is very, very important. The ability to self-correct as and when you go forward. Number 3, people often do not take action because they are scared of what they don't know. The funny thing is that this is a self-perpetuating fear. Whereas if you take action, you realize that action itself helps you overcome ignorance. If you take action, it is not knowledge that is power. It is actually applied knowledge that is power. So don't listen to somebody saying knowledge is power. It is only when it's applied that it becomes that power. Number 4, action is an antidote for fear. Action is a cure for fear. What does that mean? Action is a crucial ingredient for success. It is a weapon that you use to confront whatever fear may be coming up against you. So it is a necessary ingredient. I was reading a book recently saying stagnation must fall. What he was saying is that in that book, essentially, the author gives 10 examples of at least 10 examples of where action makes all the difference in terms of reaching the success you want. Number 5, faith is a weapon for facing the unknown and for facing fear. And yet faith without action, as the Bible correctly reminds us, faith without action is dead. So which means that action is a crucial part of activating your faith and bringing it to the fore. So you do not call yourself a person of faith if you do not take action. Stop fooling yourself and saying you're a man of faith. No. You only become of a man of faith if you take action, because then you are activating that faith. You are weaponizing that faith and doing something with it. Number 6, embracing layered learning. What do I mean by embracing layered learning? I think this is an expression that we picked from John Maxwell in his latest book, where he talks about leadership shifts. He's basically saying that if you embrace layered learning, which means learning that comes layer by layer by layer, you learn to make leadership shifts that help you going from one level to the other. Giving myself as an example, starting as a lawyer and then becoming an entrepreneur and then becoming a speaker and then also going into running restaurants and sanitation businesses. That was layer after layer after layer. I've more or less come full circle now to speaking, and speaking is part of lawyering. So I'm trying to say to you in short that confront your fears by embracing layered learning so that you can go forward. And I like the way Anthony Robbins puts it, because he says you must not only take action but take massive action. Number 7, when your attention is focused on personal growth as opposed to being focused on achieving personal goals. And this one I got from my friend Mompoloki Lerumo. He basically says that we have to make a fundamental shift and not be obsessed entirely on the goals and the goals that we set. Rather, in terms of achieving those goals, focus rather on what he terms personal growth. So constantly be looking at yourself to see how you can grow. To paraphrase Jim Rohn says, don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. In other words, focus on making a shift in your level of skill, in your level of appreciation of problems that you're confronting with. Rather, raise your awareness rather than wishing for the problem to be easier to confront. Number 8, taking a risk by doing the very thing you fear gives you a launching pad for greater aspirations and greater achievements. What is my point? As my friend Mompoloki Lerumo says in his book, Embrace Your Greatness, he says it is vital that you make the necessary mental shift. And he says in the book, and I quote, once you are struck by inspiration to do something, don't act shy. Don't act shy. Get started. Don't shy away from it. Do it. Do not wait for anyone's confirmation. The tendency is that we want the approval of others. We want somebody to say that your idea is great. No, 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 no. The idea has been implanted in your heart or in your mind for a reason, that you are the best placed person to execute that idea. Number 9, taking action and embracing significant challenges and risk is a way of raising your brand awareness. If you realize that you as an individual are a brand, you should appreciate that that brand, which is you, can only be appreciated if and when you take action. The world does not care much about your problems. And I like the way I keep going back to the leadership expert who's John Maxwell. He says the world does not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Similarly, the world does not care what brand you are trying to develop until you take action by placing that brand in front of them through action. And I'm reminded of Malcolm Gladwell in one of his books where he talks about the 10,000 hour rule. You spend those 10,000 hours studying and acting on something. After 10,000 hours of practice, of activating that talent, you become an expert. So that is the beautiful thing that comes out of execution. Number 10, most people are scared of new possibilities because they've not fully expressed themselves in their current field or their current position. Where you are now, you have not expressed yourself to the fullest. So you are concerned about moving to another level. Let me remind you of the words of Theodore Roosevelt in his famous speech, Men in the Arena. He says that you should be a man in the arena who takes action, because you will not be like one of those timid souls who knows neither victory nor defeat. My friend, I'm saying to you, know one of those things. Sooner or later, if you take action, you'll know more of victory than defeat, because you become better and better at what you are doing by execution and taking action. Bonus. I'm coming to number 11. I always leave you with a bonus, dear listener, dear viewer. The greatest and most obvious benefit of taking action and confronting your fears and embracing risks, as you've seen my now viral post where I show myself jumping from an equivalent of 45 stories at a place called Graskop. I will, you can see it now as it's shooting as I'm saying this. I wasn't confident, 100% confident, but I decided to flex my muscle when I did this. And it is only through execution, putting in the 120%, going the extra mile, taking decisive action, not tomorrow, not this afternoon, but now. It's only then that you can actually embrace risk and face your fears. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me, dear listener, dear viewer. I now invite you to like what you're hearing, and of course, as is my constant request, I beg of you to kindly subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.